Alright, I know I said there's only going to be 2 videos of the Detroit Truetrac installation, but there's actually going to be 3, but not like a full Detroit Truetrac. Because we're going to stick in the axles, then I got an aftermarket axle cover, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And the only reason why, because the fill plug is quite a bit higher than what the oil needs to go, so I'm going to cover that later. But anyways, let's get to work and fucking get this axle back together. So I got the Detroit Truetrac set open so I can get the axles in, the clips back in, and then the spacer. But you are going to notice in the Dana 35 axle, one is slightly longer than the other one, so you're going to have to determine which one's which I'm going to have to do because I didn't look when I took them out. But I think the short one goes on the passenger side, so let's slap them in now. So I made sure my axle seal was all lubricated up. So now we're going to gently stick the axle in. There, and it went right in. So I purchased new C-clips, so I'm going to go ahead, stick the C-clip in, and then pull the axle backwards. So I got one C-clip in and slid into the axle, so it's supposed to sit recessed like that. And I just got that one, just put the C-clip in. Now I got to pull the axle back, then we can put that spacer in the middle. Now both the axles are in, set in the right spot. This little piece here will go right in the middle. And then this piece goes in there. Then I got to get the retaining clip to hold that into place. After it's in, you want to rotate it just to make sure that clip's installed. And there we go. That part's done. We can put the differential cover back on now and fill it up full of oil. So this is a G2 differential cover. This wasn't the one I wanted because 4-wheel parts couldn't get me the one I wanted because it was out of stock. So I opted out with this one here, and I got a lube blocker gasket that I ordered from 4-wheel parts. This is the original Dana 35 cover. Oil's just below the half, and that's like almost 3/4 full. That means you'd be over top of your bearings, everything else. You're probably most likely, your axle tubes will be filled up. You're most likely going to end up blowing out your seals, coming out the vent tube, everything else. So not very smart. They should have had like a little weep hole or something down below here so you get it up to the proper level. Alright, I'm going to use a 1/4-inch air ratchet to snug up the bolt. Alright, now we're ready to start torquing it up. The lube blocker comes with a little diagram that shows you where to go to torque it up first and your second set of torques. So, go as a star pattern or any kind of pattern you want. So I'm going to set that aside. And the first set is 15 foot-pounds of torque. After you got that all done, boost your torque wrench up to 35 foot-pounds and repeat. Last step is to pull this frickin' plug out. It's a 3/8 and put 1.7 liters of oil in there. Now the slow process of pumping oil in there. Normally you'd fill this up till it came out the hole. Not today though, because that fill plug is way too high. You'd be over full. So this is the time you got to use what the manufacturer says your level's got to be in there. So mine says 1.7 liters. This differential cover doesn't look like it's over capacity oil fill, so I'm going to put in roughly 1.7 liters of oil. That's roughly 1.7 right there. Now that we're done, put the fill plug back in. And we'll call it good. So I'm going to end my video on that, on setting up the differential. I know it's a pretty short video, but it would have been too long to put it on the other one. Like I said, when you're using aftermarket differential covers, you got to make sure first, if it's an over capacity cover or regular capacity cover, meaning do you put back the same amount of fluid in that's supposed to be in it, or do you have to add more because it's a little bit deeper or whatever else. The G2 looks like it's pretty much stock, so I added back 1.7, 1.8 liters of oil, which is the factory spec. So we're going to go from there. They should just put the fill hole right where it's supposed to be. Like if you filled it up to the top of the fill hole, your axle tubes would be completely covered in oil. That means your vent tube's going to be pissing out oil. You're probably going to blow your fucking seals out and who knows what else. There's no disclaimer or anything else with that, with the cover. But anyways, I'm going to get going. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.